I remember I look at myself in the mirror. I even cut my hair because I wasn't feeling life in me anymore. And I remember at that time I had used a certain lip gloss that had affected my lips. It had cracked my lips. So I'd look myself in the mirror, you have added so much weight, you have a lot of face fat. And at that time your lips are black, you look like somebody who smokes cigarettes. Oh my god. Whew. Hey guys! Hey! Welcome to this amazing space where we get to know each other more, especially on matters surrounding weight loss, and we just get to share our journeys and what we have experienced so far. On this channel, we're not giving people like solutions, but we are talking about what actually worked for us. Personally, I've been on weight loss journey for almost a year now. I think 7 or 8 months around there, and I have seen results. I've seen results from consistency, from different things that I got to do. And on this channel, I'm sharing what has been tested and approved. So you can trust me when I tell you that I have lost almost 20 kgs now. I've lost 19 kgs. I started off my weight loss journey at 105 kgs, and right now I am 85 kgs. My goal is to get to around 75 to 80 kgs. I don't want to go below that because I know I'll start looking some type of way because I'm a tall girly. So I think 75 should be okay with me. So we are 3 quarters into the journey. Yeah, almost reaching my goal, and I really can't believe it because at the beginning I almost gave up. I used to feel like it can't work. Like I would feel like this is so impossible, and at some point I almost got to a place where I wanted to accept that reality and say, you know what, genetically we are big, or in my home people are big, so you know what, let me just be comfortable in this body. And not to mean that I was not comfortable in my body by then, but okay, I know a lot of people say that they are okay even when they were okay even when they were big, but for me it got to a point where it was a red alarm. Let me tell you guys the reasons why, or what actually made me realize that, hey girl, you need to start working on this weight. I got to I went to measure my kgs as I had shared in the previous episode, but then you can just go and catch up with that episode where we were sharing some tips on weight loss. So I went to measure my kgs and I realized that I was 105 kilograms and I'm just a 24-year-old. And I was like, wait a minute. Even my mother is not 105 kgs. Like, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I actually felt bad. I almost got into a depression. At that time, I remember we also do content with my friend, PV Beran Mishi. Shout out to you, Rachel. I love you so much. So I remember at around that period, I had received a lot of trolling online. If you know Ray, you know that she is petite and I'm quite thick. So by that time, I was really plus size. I was fat. Okay, let me just say it like that. So people would troll me online, like all comments. Like I would see, oh, okay, in Kiswahili they were saying, heri huyu mkonde wachana na huyu mnono. Like not once, not twice, not thrice. Like that thing they say that people online can bring to your notice some insecurities that you didn't know about yourself. That is what actually happened, and that's how it started. That was the red alarm for me. That's how I knew, hey, something needs to be done. I won't say at that time I was comfortable and okay in that body because I started feeling like clothes were too tight on me. I started wearing size 16, and I have never been size 16 in my life. And I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing wrong? I remember that time I used to eat chapatis. Like I couldn't eat one chapati in a day and be satisfied. Like I would eat a lot. So when I look back right now and ask myself what was really going on at that time, why were my eating habits that bad? I could just eat for the sake of eating, and my habits were so bad. I just eat and then go sit in the office the whole day. I wasn't moving my body and I was doing nothing about it, literally. And I realized that I used to stress it a lot. At that time, I think I was depressed, sort of. I think I somehow felt like I wanted to control things, while at that time God was telling me that He's the one that is in charge of my life. So I was sort of depressed, and I was stress eating. I didn't realize that I was stress eating because I could eat 4 or 5 meals in a day, and not just small meals or snacks. I could walk into a hotel, eat. At that time, I've already eaten breakfast, eat lunch, walk into a hotel again, take ice cream, take all the bad foods. And by the end of the day, I ended up adding so much weight. Remember in the last episode, I had told you I had added from 87 kgs. So I added almost 20 kgs in just a duration of 1 year. Hmm? Can you imagine all that weight? And then after some time, I started having pain in my foot, like in my right leg. So these are things that started making me realize that, that weight was not healthy for me anymore. Like it was no longer just about genetic weight and, people in my home are big and blah, 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 all those excuses. It had actually started affecting me. Another thing, I had started having acidity. And, acidity, the leg problems and all that, those are lifestyle diseases. And I just realized, hey, my lifestyle is not aligning with the kind of person I want to be, and it was actually affecting my health real bad. It had started affecting my health, and I sat down for a minute and thought, and I was like, people in my home have high blood pressure, and I was like, I'm playing with fire. So I just told myself, you know what, girl, you need to start working on this. You need to start actually doing something about this. Your clothes are tight, you are in pain, you're starting to have acidity issues. You know what's next? It will be high blood pressure. I called myself for a meeting and I was like, I need to start doing something. So the first thing I did, I thought, I've not been moving my body for some time now. And I was like, let me start walking. I work along, okay, let me not disclose the location of my work, but just know I have to use two vehicles when I'm going to work. So I get to one stage and then take another vehicle to work. And then when coming back, I do the same. So I told myself, you know what, when you're coming back home, you'll start not using a matatu or any means of transport. You'll start walking home, because we get off work at around 5:30. So I get home at around 6. I felt like I didn't have enough time to go to the gym. Don't say that it's an excuse, but yeah, because I'm also a bit traumatized about getting home late because of, insecurity and stuff. So it's like, you know what, you can start small. Just start by walking from here, from this point to home, and see what happens. It's actually a 30-minute walk. So I started doing that. But I didn't realize that my eating habits had not changed. I was still eating just as I had been eating before. So I'd walk, get home, and fill my plate with rice, ugali, chapati, and all that, all those carbs. And I wasn't monitoring my what is it called, calories. I wasn't monitoring my calories. I was just walking for 30 minutes and expecting things to change. Okay, maybe I didn't give it enough time. Probably in the long run it would have yielded results, but I didn't see any results, to be honest. And at that point, it made me realize weight loss is more about what you take in and less about like what your body burns. So you have to be careful about what you take in more. Yeah, you have to be more careful about what you take in. Yeah, so that you can ensure that whatever you take in is what your body requires to burn. Because even if you start burning, your body can only burn up to a certain amount of, calories. Your body requires a certain number of calories for it to function normally on a daily. I'm not saying that it's bad to move your body and exercise, but the most important part, if you want to lose weight, just fix your plate. Fix your plate, fix what you are eating. Because at that time, I didn't see any results. I worked for maybe a period of 1 month. I remember it was last year in August. I used to walk from that pool for 30 minutes every day. That's around 6K steps. Every day, nothing changed. I actually even added weight. I added 2 kgs. Whew. I was so discouraged. I remember I used to cry myself to bed. I used to feel so bad about my body. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I used to feel ugly. I used to feel not very beautiful. Remember also in social media, when you're in the social space, people are bringing out all those insecurities about you. You feel fat. You feel like you're not worthy. Like you, it happens, guys. It happens. Don't tell me that you've never experienced that. It happens. I remember I look at myself in the mirror. I even cut my hair because I wasn't feeling life in me anymore. And I remember that time I had used a certain lip gloss that had affected my lips. It had cracked my lips. So I'd look myself in the mirror, you have added so much weight, you have a lot of face fat. And at that time your lips are black, you look like somebody who smokes cigarettes. Oh my God. Whew. Gosh. Life, eh? So I would feel so bad. But imagine I'm here right now, feeling so confident in my body. I just did what I needed to do. And here I am. So if you are in any situation in your life, don't let that situation be permanent. Do something about it today. And trust me, that situation will not be permanent. It all lies in your hands. It all lies in you, in the action that you have to take so that you can change that situation. So at the beginning, it was so hard for me. I ended up going back to the eating and the bad habits. And at some point, I started hating food because I was like, this food is the one that is making me add so much weight. And I think that was my turnaround point. The moment that I started feeling like this food is the enemy, that was actually my turnaround point. So at that time, I started dieting. Okay, we will have a separate video for me to just discuss in detail what my diet was all about. But that this is now when I started dieting and I didn't stop the walking. I had stopped the walking because I was a bit demotivated. But when I decided to start again, I didn't give up. I decided to start again. And this time I came in even more stronger, more motivated, more willing to put in the work. And this time it worked. It actually worked this time because I remember I had even okay. These two are not the only times I had tried to lose weight. I remember initially I tried to skip lunch and do all those things. Skipping meals does not actually work because I would skip meals and still eat snacks or eat very late in the night, and I would still eat. I still fill my plate with foods that do not add anything, food that are not very nutritional. So that did not work for me. I tried home workouts, but I had not fixed my plate. Hmm? I had not fixed my plate. I tried a lot of those things, but it still went back to, girl, what are you taking in? Because remember in the last video I had talked about slow metabolism rate. I understand that for bodies that can survive at a slower metabolism rate, you can skip meals all you want, but as long as you are eating high calorie, like meals with a lot of calories, your body will still hold on to those calories, and your body will still want to store them in form of fat, and you'll still add weight. So here is what worked for me. Stay tuned for what worked for me. In my next video, I'll be discussing about the details of my diet and what I exactly did so that I got here. And I will be telling you how much kgs I used to lose, maybe in a day, in 2 days, in a week, and how I used to monitor those kgs up until I got here. Remember, we are still work in progress. I'm still forgive me, guys. I stay amongst the Murima guys in Kenya, and El Ero is a problem, and it's like I've been infected by that disease as well. But anyway, I'll be discussing in details everything that I did to get to where I am today, and even moving forward, what I'm still doing to get to my goal of 75 kgs. I hope you guys will join me in this journey, and I hope somebody will be encouraged to get somewhere with their weight loss journey. Anyway, for now, bye.